EU versus NA match. Of course, this is week 2 of the show match. LG versus Epsilon here, North America versus EU, and we're going to mid number 1, boys. LG is going to be the red side, and the blue side will be Epsilon. Let's see if that American aggression comes out early here or not. We do see sort of some slower developing middle. Epsilon kind of gets stuck in their house, though. A big jump by Mackie behind Shintaz, the first to go down to Banny, and Gear is going to go down to Clockwork, so LG right off the bat. I have them, a numlock with a nice pipe onto Clockwork. Gonna be the only casualty at middle. Mackie's gonna get destroyed trying to chase the combo. Looks like, Greg, they're still gonna try to get some pressure here as red. Banny's gonna jump in, the rare Banny jump. But in the end, it's gonna be a mid-win for LG. Epsilon didn't look like they got much off the ground, though F2 is still alive, Greg.
Yeah, it just felt like LG just constantly pushing straight in off that middle. You know, they jumped straight in with Mackie, I think it was, and then everybody else just piled in behind them, and Epsilon just weren't ready for it whatsoever. And we saw numlocked go down really, really late, so he's a late spawner here, so he's not going to have any stickies up. But LG aren't going to try and capitalize on that. They're going to slowly push their way in. Of course, Gear's just gone down. Uber in on top left. Tyrone starting it off. Forces the multi straight out of Epsilon. Grabs a kill as well, but they've lost both Clockwork and Banny, probably their 2 best players. And now it looks like Epsilon are going to be looking to push straight out here. Mackie coming in right at the end is not going to get anything out of that, and that's 6 down for LG.
Hey, Shade's still alive. You never know. You might kill her. He's going to get caught right here, get dropped down. So Shade will be the last. It's terrible, Greg, when your medic dies so much later than the rest of your team, because they're going to wait, and they might not even get him up before the next spawn cycles here. But a great hold by Epsilon, making it look easy there, LG, with a sort of a limp-wristed push. And there we go, Spire back in the hands of Epsilon. Though we do see some pressure onto F2. It is Cyzer going for a play, trying to show him the world, but he won't, and he's going to go down. So now we're kind of reset here. 1 down for LG as Epsilon tries to push back to middle.
Yeah, indeed. And Epsilon, normally a team that don't like that to push in with the Uber advantage that much, but they're going to have a player advantage as well, so they're definitely going to want to push in straight away here, especially when they've got numlocked in their team. It's a very aggressive demo man, although they're taking their time getting through choke, leading with Nox. There's the Uber triggered straight away, multi from F2, and they're going to get some time on this with their scouts and just try and cap it out. Nox jumping really far forward, obviously trying to get Shade or trying to get Banny, but unfortunately doesn't manage to get him. At this point, it's going to go to Epsilon. Mackie comes in a little bit too aggressive in my opinion. Shade still doesn't have this Uber, so Epsilon might just get bullied out here thinking that Shade does have it. And wow, that's a really, really nice push so far from LG. Will Epsilon try and force the Uber out of Shade?
They looked like they were just going for that standard leapfrog play, probably try to repop to take middle, but like you said, Greg, they're able to just muscle him out. Now they have Uber, F2 only at 60% all the way down on his gray bridge. Spire is under assault here. We're going to see if LG's able to get some time on the point here, though looks like numlocked is set up, tossing those stickies in defense here. F2 is probably going to be able to get this in time, though. He has not moved upper. He's hanging out underneath. They're trying to spam the point away. They're going to succeed in killing Cyzer, and now Clockwork's going to get caught out here. Though he's able to drop Gear. Wow, nice play. And force the Uber here. Both Ubers are going to be popped here. Clockwork does go down. Shade not able to save him. Both Ubers being traded off here in the blue yard. Some great Ubering by Shade, able to keep Banny alive, and now we're sort of reset here. So both teams stumbling, but this round has been pretty technical, Greg, and as we stand still 0-0, pretty even.
Indeed, but we see numlocked just walking in, choke, just taking down Banny. 6 stickies onto the floor, takes him down, and look at this, Epsilon just pushing straight in off the back of that. Really, really nice play from numlocked. That aggression just, it looked like LG were not expecting anybody to come through that choke, and numlocked just pushed straight in. Clockwork, of course, trading for Nox, but there, Shintaz and numlocked grabbing a couple of frags, and that's 6 down for LG again. This methodical sort of defense from Epsilon, followed by that really, really surprise aggression from numlocked. I kind of thought before this event, yeah, that numlocked wouldn't really fit into this sort of team, as Epsilon actually Uber into the bottom lobby and take down Gear during the Uber. Gear actually just killed himself on the wall, and after being like the Uber taking off him by F2, and now it looks like we're going to have like an Uber reset sort of thing from the Epsilon team, but they've lost 2 players, and LG are definitely going to want to push out with this, especially with that 30% Uber advantage. Cyzer trying to chase down that scout, doesn't really get that much damage, and trying to get some time on that point here, cbear.
Yeah, they're pushing out the Spire now, a little overextended though. Numlocked able to drop Cyzer again. Gonna be 1 scout down. It's so hard to capture Spire here. They're gonna have to commit is LG if they're going to want any chance at this right now. Mackey's going to go down. Clockwork able to trade, though. Another double off for Ty and Clockwork. Numlocked is down, so they need to get some time on the Spire now. But Greg, they're caught in their own trash right now. They need to get out. Scout fight on the left, or sorry, the right side of the Spire. Shintaz is going to get caught and dropped by Clockwork. Cap time on the Spire, so some tedious moments there from the red side. You never want to be out when you're only down to your last without having pressure on the point, but they finally got up there, capped the point, and now they're looking towards middle. A pretty great first round here. We do see a bomb! Oh, it's going to force the pop onto Shade. Gear with a great jump, the roaming soldier, I want to say, onto Shade. That's going to reset that Uber advantage, and now we're back at a pretty similar playing field that we were at earlier with LG at mid. Both Ubers basically even.
Yeah, indeed, and actually, LG coming straight through resupply. Epsilon caught off guard slightly here. They're probably going to lose Shintaz on 8 HP. Does go down. So LG is just going to methodically manage to just push forward and take this Spire as well. Epsilon trying to defend from that balcony, but having already lost Shintaz, I doubt they can, and that soldier's dropped down. He's going to get caught out there as well, so that's going to be 2 down for Epsilon. And LG, as long as they get the scout presence on this Spire, although both scouts were trying to take down that soldier, they should manage to cap this. Numlock comes in with a big bomb, does a lot of damage, but should be going down. There he goes down, but there's some frags. Epsilon, Schocky going absolutely massive. I think took down both those scouts. I don't know if that was 1v2 or not. Coming back, telling Clockwork after Clockwork's 4-man, and he grabs another as well. So Schocky's on for a 4-man now as well. Looking good so far for this round, actually. cbear in this match is just backward and forward so much.
Clockwork is still behind the enemy team, LG's Superstar Scout. He's trying to make something happen. They've brought back at least 3 people, so that's going to slow down middle quite a bit as we see no more time on the middle cap, so Clockwork not even shooting at anybody, doing quite a great job just running around, making a distraction. They haven't killed him yet. Wow, he's able to drop Numlock during all this. I switched away. I figured they were going to clean him up, but wow, great pick on the demo. And now, Greg, both Ubers being traded off in that yard as my voice is going to start to waver already. Too much screaming for the cbear as we see both teams pushing up onto Spire. Sorry, I back cap right now. I don't know if they even realize that the cap is being put behind him. It's a scout who's going to back off. So some poking and prodding at sort of the fatty areas of both teams. But we're still at the first round of this match. So really close, fun stuff so far, Greg.
Yeah, indeed, and that back cap just really saved Epsilon right there. Schocky coming in, trying to take down Banny. Banny must be so low, and in fact, he's actually only on 80 HP. And I don't think Epsilon will be able to take this at the moment. In fact, they just get a load of frags, and I'm completely wrong as Shintaz comes in and gets 3. Wow, scout game at the moment, isn't it, cbear?
Yeah, I just got kicked out of the game, like my game crashed, but I'm still here.
I'll take over then.
Just keep going.
Do not worry. Yes. So Epsilon obviously pushing towards the spot. Sticky trap from Banny doesn't actually manage to take anybody down, and I don't think LG will be able to contest this Spire whatsoever. So they're going to have to hold on to last. They've done this once before, I think. So let's see if they can do it again. But there is an Uber advantage at the moment for Epsilon, but they're taking a little bit too long over it, and Shade's going to have his. So we'll see a full Uber standoff here on last. Clockwork on sniper. No, sorry, Mackie on sniper, even Cyzer on heavy. Clockwork still on scout. A lot of damage. Epsilon pushing in this bottom right with these 2 soldiers. It's something they love to do in Europe. Normally catches a player off guard. Both soldiers going bottom right, spamming into that top right doorway, and generally you can get a kill out of it, especially with your medic there. You can survive, and it looks like they're going to try to do it again. There is a heavy there. Can they get anything out of it? Soldier jumps in a little bit too aggressively. Is he going to get out? Yeah, that was Knox, and he does get out on 30 HP, but they take down Gear, who's trying to cover him. Knox goes down as well, and Epsilon definitely cannot push in off this. So we'll have to see if they can hold on to this top lobby area with 2 scouts and a demo man. Numlock with a couple of nice sticky traps should be able to keep LG out of it. And actually Tyrone looks like he wants to pressure top lobby. No, he's not going to.
Alright, I'm having trouble getting back in here. Exxon, if you want to just say something.
Yeah, like I'm in here as well, so Greg, don't worry, you don't have to carry the full load by yourself. There's been a good defense. We see Mackie and Cyzer off-classing, and both of them have been very quick to switch around. Cyzer just ducking back in there, and I think it's heavy definitely stifled that lower right attack that you were talking about, Greg.
Yeah, indeed, but that is, having the heavy there is something that Epsilon love, and actually Mackie gets a headshot onto Knox, who was trying to come in top alone while Numlock was spamming from bottom. It looked like they were trying to get some sort of force out, and there is the force, actually. Tyrone coming into top lobby, counters right there, and they're going to push straight in. No, in fact, Epsilon going to just back away. They didn't want to use that Uber too much, because they obviously ran out near the same time. Mackie goes down. And I have another relay for you here, cbear. So
I got it, actually. One of our awesome viewers got me. I'm almost in right now, but you guys keep it up.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was a good stiff defense. Tyrone poking his head out, forced that Uber, and that kind of stopped the first cycle. Now, let's see how they get set up. Mackie about to respawn.
Alright, I'm back. Fun.
So Nox is actually coming top right here, doing a lot of distracting. A scout following, I think that's Shintaz. They're going to grab this soldier kill. That's Tyrone down. And Nox gets away, and 15 HP does get healed up. And it looks like Epsilon are going to try and push in with that player advantage. But there's Mackie yet again. While we're just waiting for this respawning player of Nox, I want to quickly talk about our prizes for this evening, guys. Of course, we forgot to talk about it in the pre-game, which is Razer gear. Of course, Razer sponsoring tonight's game. There are 2 mouse pads being given away. Oh, sorry, yeah, 3 mouse pads even being given away. 1 to US and 2 to EU. All you have to do is go on Twitter, follow at VanillaTV.org, and then tweet to at VanillaTV.org your player, a player who you think is going to get the highest amount of frags in this map, and whether you're from the EU. Just check out VanillaTV at tf2.org to check that all out. And we actually see the Uber in and bottom now from Epsilon, which kind of just gets forces the other one out, and they don't really get anything out of it. Apparently the competition has closed already, so ignore me completely.
Yeah, I was gonna say we forgot to plug that earlier, but that's okay. You know, even the best sometimes have a day off or whatever. It's cool.
Well,
in the meantime, there's
the
a push
action's
coming
been so
in.
fierce.
Yeah, well, we started a little randomly and stuff. Banny's gonna go down. It's actually a cleanup push here from Epsilon. Took a lot of time, but they're gonna get it easily for that last push. 1-0 in favor of Epsilon. Kind of a weird result so far, though. One has to point out that Banny at 100 ping is kind of a big deal for LG. He's a West Coast, the server is New York, but anyway, we are 1-0 in favor of Epsilon. Here we go for mid number 2. Greg, you want to take it away?
Yeah, indeed, I'm watching Banny as he's coming across normal and jumping on that train, just sticking into the valley. Little does he know, European teams don't really go valley very much, so he's just wasted about 4 stickies, and out come the Epsilon team, but gear goes straight down to Mackie and Cyzer in that enemy shithouse. Really great play. Cyzer eventually goes down to Shintaz, who is actually dominating him. Wow. And now we're trying to see LG getting a lot of cap time, and Epsilon not really getting out of that house whatsoever due to the aggression from LG.
Yeah, those stickies missed in the very beginning for Banny. Great call there, but they never got out of the house. Similar to the first round. Here we go. Ubers are going to be cycled here. Both medics staying alive during middle, and now they're trading a really close Uber here. Banny fights the remaining part of that Uber. Finally going to be able to drop Nox, Tyrone onto numlocked, so no demo. Tyrone behind, able to get some damage onto F2, but he's going to back off here. Still anyone's game here, though. F2 is going to drop to a Mackie bomb. Clockwork onto Razor, so I'm sorry, Nagir, who's repping Razor, of course, derp. And now Spire is going to be put up here, so Banny on Spire. Looks like that Uber very, very close to going either team's way. With Tyrone's pick of numlocked, Greg, it was going LG's side, and now they're going to try to set up to push last year with a 40% advantage, 45% advantage, so a chance to even it up here.
Yeah, indeed. And while we're actually waiting for Shay to grab his Uber before they push in, I'm actually going to plug the other competitions we have thanks to Razer. So the actual ones you can still enter, guys. We have 2 Razer Death Adders to give away. 1 to the US guys, 1 to the EU guys. And what our plan is, basically you have to PM Trell on IRC, which is TRELL. Who you think is going to drop the most amount of Ubers? As we see LG come in top left, and they take down that Pyro really, really quickly. F2 only on 60% Uber. Clockwork just pushing them straight back into that spawn. They're going to grab another kill onto gear. And actually, Tyrone does go down, but this player advantage still in LG's favour. Although here come Epsilon. And somehow LG haven't managed to cap this, although Mackie's on the point. Doesn't manage to get it, both Nox and F2 on that point. Nox takes down Cyzer now, and LG are going to pull out and try and recycle this, although Epsilon have a player advantage and an Uber advantage here to cbear.
Wow, that was a great hold. They towed the line between what you want to do. They went back into spawn, did Epsilon, did their combo, and they got out just in time. Mackie was on the point for a little bit, but he backed off or got killed off just in time not to win. And now we're going to see the Spire be taken back here, or attempted to. Uber is going to be popped here by Epsilon. They're pushing mid with it, though. There's not a ton of cap time behind them. Clockwork is going to get caught off trying to defend Spire. But it's going to go, Greg, in favor of Epsilon. So another kind of a mirror image of last round. We saw LG dominate the opening moments, but Epsilon able to hold and try to push back here. Though they do have a huge Uber advantage of about 70%, Greg, at this point, does LG. So it looks like they're just going to re-push this onto Spire here when they're ready. But Epsilon is pretty far back. They're tucked away on their bats, which is a pretty safe position. But here we go. LG is going to walk it in towards Spire. They're going to clear it off first and try to push towards that house area. Knox is going to go down.
Epsilon. Sorry to interrupt. Just so everyone knows, actually there's a soldier there as well.
That's a very good back cap.
No time on Spire yet from LG. And this cap's going to go so easily in Epsilon's favour. They're going to push their scouts straight onto Spire with that soldier of gear just staying behind and delaying everybody. numlocked jumping in. Is he going to actually force Shade? No, he's not. But these double scout back cap is going to go. And Epsilon are going to pick up Spire as well. Banny on 57 HP on Stone isn't really going to be able to do very much. There's the point picked up already. Banny's going to swap spawn, but both these scouts going in. Scout on last, Banny on last. Will Epsilon even bother going for that? Will their scouts go for it? No, in fact, Shintaz is going back to get Shade along with Schocky. There's the Uber force. F2 is actually only on 30%, so unfortunately isn't going to be able to do anything out of the back of this. But wow, that's a really, really good play. And that's called by Shintaz, definitely. That's the sort of play he used to do ages ago, and now he's back in this Epsilon side. You'll see that a lot more out of them.
I apologize for missing that. I was watching the action of the combo. I had no idea that all 6 LG guys went flank, or went choke, I'm sorry, all is 6, and they left the flank completely open. And that's a 3-man back cap. Really shouldn't happen. So a great play awareness from Epsilon. We're going to see how LG recovers from that. They just got kind of pushed around there in a chance. They had a huge advantage and lost 2 points. But here we go, fighting on mid. Blue Uber is going to be popped. Shade is kind of deep, though. He's going to get on his horsey and back out. He's only at 60%, but though it should be said, nice play by LG forcing the Uber. Here comes the bomb onto Shade. Are they going to be able to get him? Banny is going to go down. Shade does stay alive, trying to foul it up. Scout pushing in, but Tyrone able to drop him down with a rocket. And we're going to reset here. 3 down for Epsilon, only 2 down. For the LG guys. Greg, as a crazy round being played out here. LG, I believe, have a pretty significant advantage. Let's see if there's another double back cap for the win here from Epsilon, or if mid's going back towards the red guys.
I highly doubt there's going to be a back cap this time around, but LG will just push in. Obviously, that player advantage means they can get into mid for free and don't even need to pop their Uber. There, here comes the soldier bomb. Doesn't actually manage to find the medic, going for a scout instead. That's pretty weird decision from Gear there, just throwing away his life. And we'll see LG, are they going to push through resupply? No, they're just going to come around choke. Tyrone leading Shade through. Those stickies actually did a little bit of damage to Shade, but not that much. And we're going to see the Uber triggered onto Tyrone. Scout on Spire this time. LG getting it done correctly. And now straight onto F2, who pops the Uber. Will they be able to get any time on to block that Spire? I don't think they will. No, numlocked goes in and just dies. And actually Clockwork running all the way to last. Banny there at the moment as well, but goes down. Clockwork's going to come in top left. No, he's not. He's going to back away. And cbear, wow, what an exchange.
Cyzer is still on last. I don't know what he's planning on doing. He's going to go for the medic, but he gets body rocketed down by Gear. Clockwork is going to go down as well, so not a great time to lose both scouts here. Exxon, I've heard you kind of chiming in a little bit. Anything you want to say? I don't want to cut you off here.
Yeah, I saw a couple crazy things there. Tyrone actually body blocked the Ubered soldier that was jumping to Spire. Just like a really kind of small moment, but I thought very critical in that fight. He ended up getting stomped on. LG have had problems attacking last. That's what I feel they need to change to actually get some points on the board.
Yeah, they need to keep Banny alive up more, because he just gets dropped down during this push. It's going to be so hard to fight around Spire without Banny, and they're going to lose 2 more around. Tyrone's going to make it 4, so only Shade and Mackie remains, though. Mackie onto F2 with a big play. Will Shade somehow make it out of here? He's stuck in the shithouse with no life. No, numlocked's going to say, I see you there, buddy. And there's a sticky for you, as Shade is going to go down. So Mackie with a great pick onto F2, Greg, but it doesn't matter if your whole team dies. Already cap time on Spire, so Epsilon... that old saying about EU teams being a little too slow, they're pushing quickly. Every advantage, at least for the most part, I've seen them get on Spire when they possibly can. And look at, almost capped already for Schocky, who has the other name that I forgot already because I'm stupid. But yeah, big play by Epsilon, and now Spire's almost capped, ready to go.
Yeah, indeed, and I just want to point out, this is the first time Shintaz has played for Epsilon in an official capacity since he's joined, and he's top fragging them server at the moment. He actually just goes down as Epsilon's trying to push around this corner, losing both their scouts, but numlocked gets 2 big frags. Tyrone and Cyzer both down, and his medic joins up with him now, so he should be healed up. Just Clockwork and Shade left alive against 4 players here. numlocked tries to jump forward, just deals 70 damage to himself and goes nowhere. So that enables LG to manage to fall out, and there's going to be some cap time onto Spire. Clockwork gets a full buff, and he's going to try and contest this alone. Gets rocketed onto Spire, but he's going to crater, and there he goes, straight down. And that Spire is going to go into Epsilon's hand. Currently 1-0 to Epsilon. They get a chance to push into last again here, cbear.
Yeah, Banny trying to hold them off at the doors there. They're doing that forward hold. I'm not sure if EU teams do it a lot on Badlands, but it's something that we see a lot out of the North American teams. Works out pretty well. Mackie does go down as well, but both soldiers, here we go. Ubers are going to be cycled here in an odd place. They're going to go straight for the point here, Greg. They want to get on that point cap time. There are still stickies on it. They're going to get back in time, though. Will LG Shintaz gets shut down on the point, and there goes Cyzer onto F2, so medic down. A brave attempt, trying to do something, push around that forward hold, but LG was aware. They got back in time and made it look kind of foolish, and now a great chance for LG to take Spire back here. With
I agree with that foolish sentiment, and I was going to say that push by Epsilon there actually reminded me of LG's pushes earlier in this game and the reasons why they have failed, where they've been throwing these Ubers out there, and that wasn't really an Uber that Epsilon should have moved forward with. They had the Uber on the lower lobby. LG actually kind of had an awkward Uber as well, and then they just moved forward with 3 players, got cut off, got trapped, and got taken out, and numlocked actually had a bit of a misstep there as well.
Fighting going...
Yeah, Epsilon stacking that house and get a load of frags out of it, and that's 3 players down for LG. Banny going down now, Shade on 57 HP. Does get the Uber saw, and he survived as well. The Uber straight away. Will they take down Clockwork before Shade meets up with him? They do actually, so Shade's on his own with that Uber, but Schocky only on 3 HP means he can't really get onto that Spire. And we're going to see
F2 is
LG
down right now. Shade is buffing everybody, so even though he used the Uber, his presence is very important right now.
He's going to get up an advantage here with the medic still being down F2. They're not able to stop Spire. Mackie did all he could. Tyrone jumped up, gets destroyed by numlocked. Everyone enjoys that one. I didn't see the shot, but I saw the reaction to it. Usually reserved for someone getting destroyed right there. Banny onto Spire right now. Okay, Shade on Spire, or sorry, Banny on Spire, hit pipe, like look at the 2 pipes. He's still gonna live though. His gears in a drop of the body rocket though. 2 pipes do quite a bit of damage here. LG trying to get Spire back. All sorts of cap time being put on here. Looks like Clockwork is skirting every bit of damage. It doesn't go though. They have to get back on that cap. Look how close it is. Here comes the soldier. He's gonna try to jump up there. He's gonna get denied by Shintaz and destroyed by Knox. The Tyrone. They're not able to get this cap. They're gonna have to back all the way to last. Greg, a huge play. That cap's so close, but Clockwork in the end actually dies at the end of that too. So 3 down. Needed to get that cap. Now it's gonna be tough for them to hold the last.
Indeed, really, really great play from Knox, and that's going to be 2-0. I have to say, Knox jumped onto Spire and kind of made it so that it was impossible for Clockwork to deny the jump. Clockwork had to like kind of skirt around the edge of the point, and then actually ended up falling off it and going back to balcony. And then Epsilon got a scout on the point which denied the soldier, and then Knox jumped onto the balcony. 1 rocket took down 2 players, and LG instantly going to have to backtrack from there. And we are back onto middle, cbear, so take it away.
2-0 in favor of Epsilon on the New York server. I don't think anyone expected this. Let's see if LG can come back here. They're playing really sloppy right now, but wow, look at this middle. They're already down 3. Tyrone, Mackie, both soldiers going to go down. Schocky does go down as the only casualty so far, but LG's in full escape mode, except for Clockwork, who jumps back in. 3 shots on a numlocked who was being pocketed. He's still out there, though. I think he's going to get cleaned up. That's going to be the blown bright spot at mid here, though. Clockwork's still alive. Someone's got to hit him. There's the bat. There you go. Let me just crack you across the face with my little bat there. That's going to be the end of that mid fight, though. Both medics, Greg, do stay alive. It's going to be a win for Epsilon, so some more weird play out of LG. Usually very strong, aggressive at mids. They just got cleaned up there.
Yeah, I just want to point out that's the first middle that Epsilon have actually won, even though they're 2-0 up, and Shintaz got a 4-man on it, so that's kind of how they actually managed to win it. And Epsilon are going to go into house, and they're going to meet LG's Uber, are they? Shade in there on 70 HP at the moment. Here comes numlocked, charging in, forces the Uber. He's not going to get saved. Yes, he will, but gear goes down to Clockwork. I don't actually know where that happened, and look at this. LG just destroying Epsilon at the moment, tearing them apart. That means F2 should be going down at choke as well right there. Shintaz on 6 HP, the only survivor. Wow, what a push by LG.
Yeah, the sudden wipe. It's like we've been kind of playing bad all game, but now we're just going to wipe all of you and none of us are going to die. That's a huge swing, obviously, as Spire now is being contended. See if Epsilon can try to forward hold of their own. Like I said, I'm not too familiar to see if the EU guys do that, but with numlocked just resurrecting here, he's not going to get stickies on those doors in time, and LG is going to get in basically free here. So Tyrone up top, trying to get healed up as he gets kind of smoked away by some rockets there. But looking at last, we do see a Pyro on defense, so they've done their homework, know how to spoil this push. They're going to have Uber versus no Uber, but Tyrone gets picked off there. Both soldiers doing some nice, but look at F2 is going to go down as well, so both teams electing just to DM at this door. Odd, but it looks like LG is going to get the best of it. They do push in now. Shade is going to cycle his Uber. F2 very much so dead. very much so a good push from LG, able to drop it 2-1, Greg, now in favor of Epsilon, but LG with a commanding turn in that round. As we are going to GG here, I guess, apparently.
No. I kind of felt like with that Uber, that attack, Shade just kind of hung out and was able to protect his players, held on to the Uber charge. Tyrone, I felt like actually had a mistake. You called it out. He ate a lot of spam through that door. He was down to 100 health. Numlocked, good pressure from the stairs. And then all of a sudden, it was Shade and a few others, and then Mackie started getting kills, and the scouts started getting kills, and then they pressured their way in, and then they were able to get in there. Epsilon, very aggressive in their defense, and I really like seeing that. I think it's paid off for them when they've been pushed back to their last, and in a sense, we saw it there, maybe backfire, but just really good pressure from LG, no Uber from the Europeans.
All right, real quick, sorry, Exxon, I want to figure out what's going on. Because according to the in-game talking, there's 5 minutes left, 2-1, obviously still in favor of Epsilon. Greg, do you have your sources working? Do you know what is going to happen here, or are we just going to move on and say GG, you don't get those last 5 minutes?
We're on the American server at the moment, so obviously it doesn't really have the normal ETF2L config, and I think what it looks like is they have had an MP_max rounds 3 command in, which obviously means as soon as 3 rounds are up, it's the game over. So they've now turned that off. They set the time limit back to 5 minutes, which is where it was. So it's currently 2-1 to Epsilon as we are going into this 4th middle right now. I'm watching numlocked roll out through normal. Actually, he's going to go through house, go grab that health pack, and then actually go to the balcony. So slightly slower rollout for him while Banny goes onto that train. Takes a couple of big stickies actually. He's on 91 HP. So will we see Shintaz go big on this middle this time? LG rolling out through the valley but playing on their own slope, taking down Schocky. He went really aggressive straight away. Gear actually doing a lot of spam into that ramp along with numlocked and KnoxXx, and they're just grabbing loads of frags because LG is just sitting there doing nothing.
Yeah, no aggression at all. Mackie gets cleaned up. He's LOL is kind of saying they're just out of their game right now, not being aggressive. Another big mid. I gotta say though, numlocked at the beginning is neutralizing Banny unlike any demo I've seen. I know Banny has huge ping right now too, but obviously so does numlocked. But he's getting there quickly, and he's able to hold Banny out, actually out damaging Banny. We never see that. But here we go. Spire going down right now, attempt to at least. Numlocked jumped onto Bat, so he's gonna drop off. Uber being popped here. Shade did stay alive at middle, so he still has his. He's going to watch his team get cleaned up there on the left side of Spire. They do have Uber. Epsilon did burn theirs, but there we go. A nice force. KnoxXx just going to walk in and say, you know what? I want that Uber. Give it to me. And they're going to have to pop. And they're going to back out. So great play by Epsilon, showing really high level of form, even though they probably haven't been scrimming so much lately. Really solid team TF2, Greg. They're going to walk in, force the pop, and get out. And now they have a 30% advantage, looking to take Spire here and end this.
Yeah, indeed. And actually, a soldier jumps in, trying to take down F2. F2 runs through that shithouse, and there's more players trying to press you if you choke. Banny's now on 37 HP after 2 players, including Shade, already going down. But in come Clockwork and Cyzer. So it's now kind of a scout fight on this point, with F2 going down as well, but just Mackie alive in... Is that the enemy house? It's the enemy house, so he's on middle, and so now he's jumping back to resupply. That point gets capped by that scout, I think it was Schocky, or Shintaz even, and Mackie goes down now as well. Just Tyrone and more spawners, so Shintaz, unfortunately, if he would have run to last, even wouldn't have got it there. And while we're here, we'll probably see LG try and hold forward, and I want to address this. European teams do it a lot. It's just, we only do it if you get the spawns in time, obviously, to be able to do it. And when you're playing against something, if you see the main door free of stickies and free of any players, you just rush to last and try and cap it like they're doing right now. And there we go, 3-1 to Epsilon, and that's what you saw before with the Epsilon trying to do with their Uber. And if Banny hadn't been on that last point, which isn't a usual thing from a European point of view, Epsilon would have capped it the previous time they tried to do that. So just obviously European style of demo men is that the European demo stickies the main doors, while the US one at that point with Banny was sticking last, and we're back on middle here to take us away, cbear.
Can't say how impressed I am with you demo play. Cadis last week and Numlocked this week. Here we go, at middle here, see if we can continue that. 3 down right off the bat for LG, make it 4. Shade does stay alive though, he's so far back. He's got Mackie in tow. That's not quite enough to repel a full team. They need to get out of there though. They're brave and they're going to stay there, finally going to start jumping away. So Epsilon muscles them out, and this has to be said again. This is the the quote-unquote American server. Look at that aggression! The scout! Wow, that is Stefan just walking right into the lobby door and drops the combo. Mackie and Shade, huge play, huge double. That's going to open it up, possibly to go to a 4-1 score. Tyrone's jumping Spire. He's going to try to fight a scout, but he's going to get dropped down. Clockwork, they're doing all they can, Greg, to try to hold on here. Can Clockwork pull some magic out of his gigantic hat? I don't believe he will. Cyzer, though, able to drop one as well, so these scouts are kind of crocodiling around in the background, picking off players away from the medic. Cyzer and Clockwork, Greg, are playing well, but it's time for the heavy classes for LG to pick it up a little bit.
We did go into radio mode for a sec there. Apologies. Of course, Half-Life crashes sometimes. Our caster doing a fantastic job. We almost are back in the game. And it's almost over.
Okay, so unfortunately, sorry to the streamers, we are back onto this point, and actually Shintaz has gone to last. He almost manages to cap it. It's about, what is it, nipple hair? Is that what they call it? You call it, cbear?
Sometimes we do call that. That indeed counts as nipple hairs. Let's see if he just walks on the point to win it. Yes, he does. Banny's watching him dodge. He's like, I have like a 0.2 second reaction time here. It's going to go. Banny probably would have had that with 20 ping, just saying, Greg. But that's going to make it, what, 4-1 in favor of they're GGing right now, so they're done. They've had enough of this beating, and wow, Epsilon is able to just kind of work them. I guess they're going to play this mid out, maybe? No, they're just kind of walking around. I don't know.
They're definitely not. So that is GG, guys. Of course, if you entered our competition via Twitter, which we didn't actually talk about before the game, oops.
We got rushed in the very beginning, to be fair.
Yes.
You know?
Then the person that top fragged is a little bit hard to tell because obviously the map restart. So as of this restart, in 5 minutes, Stefan got 13 frags. So that's who's top at the moment. Meanwhile, before that, I'm pretty sure it was Shintaz, is what I would have to say. But I don't know how many it was. He at one point, I think he was on 25 frags with after 20 minutes or something. It's definitely been a scout-dominated game, which of course is kind of the nature of playing on 120 ping for everybody. So, cbear, do you want to give me your MVP of this map?
It's hard to say. I think Epsilon as a whole played very well. I will give it to numlocked. I know he's on the bottom of this scoreboard, and I don't even really know how he did points-wise. But when you're playing against Banny in a server where you have about the same amount of ping, it'd be a different story if Banny had 190 on the EU server, which we'll see coming up this next map. But playing even with possibly the best demo in the world. Great play from numlocked. He's not even that familiar with the team. But he came out and played really well. I'll give it to numlocked, though all the scouts, all 4 scouts played really well. You could give it to Shintaz. He played so well, did so much, and yeah, I don't know. But who do you think, Greg? Who's your MVP?
Personally, I'm going to have to give it to Shintaz because I know this is the first official he's played with the Epsilon side as well. You know, you say numlocked hasn't played with them, but Shintaz hasn't really either. So definitely have to give it to him, propping up his team after not being there with Walters, normally their main scout. So I'm just going to quickly do an outro. So thank you very much for joining us on VanillaTV, guys, for this first map of this I-46 sponsored show match. Of course, Razer, the sponsor, series number 2. We'll see you on the second map, which should be Snakewater very shortly. Awesome. Right, so guys,